Hey guys, what's going on? So I don't know if you even thought that I was even going to talk about Valkyrie, but I am. I am here to talk about Valkyrie. And if you want to watch gameplay video of Valkyrie, I stole all of this from Godlike Mike. Momo Royale has a video. I trust that if you watch other YouTubers, they probably have videos, but it's probably in a different language. I just wanted to talk about Valkyrie, specifically because I'm probably going to wail out on this unit. Not like a lot, but more so than I have for anything that was after Treant. Because this is the fixed version of a Treant. That's kind of how it plays. If you understand the mechanic of a Treant and, like leveling up a Treant by using the mana power, thus your mana power is restrictive to how much power you're able to gain. Because when you use Treant, if you've never played Treant before, when you use your mana power up, you down rank the highest ranking unit on your field in order to give stacks to your Treants. And when your Treants get to max, they gain stacks. But the problem, there's a bunch of problems. One of the problems is that you are constantly ranking down a unit. That wasn't a problem when it was first introduced, because Witch was one of the main components of the deck. And if you go back to my old videos, Treant was really good because you had the ability to just get rid of this was a time before Kobold, so Kobold wasn't a thing, so you were either using Enchant Sword or Knight Statue, and so you could use Enchant Sword in this merge type deck, merge them all out all the time. You could merge out all of your witches, save for one witch, and you could have a level 1 witch that got you all of the bonus of all 30 of your merges of witches, and if you put that next to a Treant, you would get the maximum witch bonus with a level 1 witch, and that's what made the deck so good. And what they ended up doing was, one, they added Kobold, and so that just allows people to do more damage than the 10 stacks on an Enchant Sword, and then they also nerfed Witch by, you needed to have not only the 30 merge ranks, but you also needed for the Witch to be a level 7 in order to get the original bonus that you were getting from a level 1. And so the idea that you're always using your mana power to level down a Treant was one of its problems. This unit fixes all of that. So the way that this unit works, I'm going to read all of this at length. There's a lot of, I'm just going to be talking. If you want to see gameplay, again, there are YouTubers out there that have gameplay for it. I just really want to go in depth into why I think that this is a really good unit and why I think that it's going to be, that if you like the Treant playstyle, you might want to think about switching over to this. So the way that this works, I'll actually go to this screenshot first. I was going to read this, but I'll go to this screenshot first because maybe this will be easier to visualize. So when you start playing, you have 3 main Valkyries. So that is going to be, actually, you know what? That's why I did this entire thing. So you have 3 main Valkyries. So that's going to be your yellow Valkyries, which are going to be these 3 right here. These are going to be your main damage dealers, and so this alone already gets rid of my problem with 1-unit decks. I hate 1-unit decks. You can change Robot into a 2-unit deck, but when Robot is if you wanted to utilize all of your power into one Robot, you could technically do that, but the problem with that is your protection is really, really bad. You have to save wrenches in order to theoretically try to cleanse it, and even if you do that, it could still get golemed, and then you can't even click on your robot, and then you just die. The other one is obviously Dark Inquisitor, but Dark Inquisitor is obviously not even a Pantheon unit, so it's not even going to be in this a part of this conversation. Twilight Ranger, on the other hand, is the best version of a single target or a single unit deck, because the cleanse on a Twilight Ranger is simply add stacks to any Twilight Ranger on the field, and it cleanses a Twilight Ranger. So even if your main Twilight Ranger is golemed, you can just sacrifice another Twilight Ranger, give stacks to something else, and then your main Twilight Ranger can get cleansed. You basically have an opportunity to always cleanse it. Even if you don't have Mermaid, even if you don't have counter spells, you can basically auto-cleanse it at any point in the game, and that's why that unit is so good. But for the most part, I just hate, Crystalmancer. I hate single unit decks. This is essentially a 3-unit deck. These are going to be your main damage dealer Twilight Rangers. And then every single time you summon in a new Twilight Ranger, you're going to get these red guys. The red ones are going to be your sacrifice. I'm sorry, Twilight Ranger. The red guys are going to be your Valkyrie, your sacrificial Valkyries. And what I mean by that is when you have your 3 main yellow Valkyries on the field, you start summoning in red Valkyries. When you use your mana power up, your red Valkyries will, all of your red Valkyries, similar to Inquisitor, Dark Inquisitor, but it's on a mana activation as opposed to a time limit. And it's kind of like a time limit because it's on a mana activation, but the fact that you have the ability to activate it whenever you technically want is the difference. And that's a big difference. As opposed to like having, Inquisitors on the field when you're running Dark Inquisitor and then it gets red guide or it gets tribunaled. You can technically play around that by saving your mana power up for whenever you want to sacrifice them, and they are not on a time. Whereas when you have Dark Inquisitor and you want to get stacks onto your Dark Inquisitor and you want to like dryad the Inquisitors that you have on the field, so that they get better stacks. They constantly sacrifice themselves, and you have to keep summoning in order to build up to get more and more Inquisitors. With this, because it's based on mana activation, you can sacrifice all of them whenever you want. And so what happens is when you sacrifice or when you use your mana activation, that's when all of these will sacrifice. And then depending on their merge rank, and I'll talk about this later, depending on their merge rank, you will get stacks. And that's damage stacks. And the difference between this and Treant, and this is why I also say that it's a fixed Treant, is 2 things will happen. All of your stacks will not go onto your yellow Valkyries. They will not do that. You get your stacks in the best way, where it's next to your mana power up. You just like Blooming Dash Blade Dancer. The difference between a Floral Frenzy Blade Dancer and a Blooming Dash Blade Dancer. When you have a Floral Frenzy Blade Dancer, that individual Blade Dancer gets the stacks. That's how Treant works. But what happens is, what if that singular unit gets warlocked? What if it gets bedlammed? What if it gets grandmastered? Then you lose all of the stacks that you've been building throughout the course of the game. Whereas with Blooming Dash, for instance, all of the stacks are going next to the mana power up, and so you will always have those, even if your main guys, even if like they decide to grandmaster. Oh, there we go. Even if they decide to grandmaster 2 of your guys, your other one will still have all of those stacks, and then you could theoretically recover once you get your other 2 back. A second thing will also happen when you use your mana power up. The least ranked up Valkyrie, one of your 3 Valkyries, gets leveled up automatically, just because. I thought that was going to be a reincarnation ability, or at the very least, a level 15 ability. No, it's just a base ability that it has. I'm gonna go and to that. Using the mana power up button on the last paragraph here, using the mana power up button ranks up a random Valkyrie that has a rank lower than maximum. When you press your mana power up button, you're sacrificing everything, and then one of your three main Valkyries just levels up. It's incredibly good, and the fact that it has a self level up mechanic as opposed to a Treant where it's a level down mechanic is a very, very big difference. I'm finding that right now with the Treant, or what's it called, the level up, the friends bonus that's happening right now, you would think that that's really good for Treant because you can constantly level up your 3 Treants in the middle. But the problem is that's actually not the best, because other decks that are using it, like a Phoenix, you're able to 7 your entire field. Every single Phoenix that you have, constantly being able to level up everything is the best thing. And so that you can have a whole bunch of level 7s. I'm finding that even though Treant you would think would be really good in this bonus right now, I'm finding that Banshee is actually much better because you can level 7 every single one of your Earth Elementals. And then you can early game level up all your Banshees. And then once your Banshees are leveled up, you can start summoning in a bunch of Earth Elementals, leave them in the center, and level all those up. And then move one out, and then move one in, and level that up, and then move one out and move one in. And you can just 7 your entire Earth Elemental field. And that is the difference. That's the fundamental difference between a Banshee, between a deck that always has the ability to level up and a Treant deck that is constantly forcing you to level down. So when you use your mana power up button, not only are you gaining all of the stacks that that all of your red guys are giving you, but you're also getting a self level up mechanic every single time you use it. So you could add level up mechanics in this, like a Scrapper or a Dryad. I don't necessarily know if you need it though. I think that you can build a merge deck with like a summoner, like basically this deck, but a summoner instead of a Dryad. And because I don't think you need to really level anything up. There's an idea that you should level up your red guys, because then you're gaining more stacks. So for instance, I'll just read this. So it says that it deals area damage. When merged, absorbed, or destroyed, it grants runes depending on merge rank. And so it goes, for a level 1, you're getting 2 stacks, then you're getting 4 stacks, then you're getting 8 stacks, then you're getting 12 stacks, then you're getting 16 stacks, then you're getting 20 stacks, then you're getting 24 stacks. Now that sounds good. Like, oh, if I sacrifice a level 7, I get 24 stacks. That sounds crazy. But in practice, there's a big part of me that feels like you just want to get rid of your field as much as much as you can and just cycle your field. Kobold has a mechanic like this. Like if you sacrifice a bigger and bigger Kobold, I think when it first came out, I was like really hyped about that because you look at the high end, like amount of stacks that you could get. And in practice, nobody really uses that. It's not a thing that you don't want to try to level up a Kobold and then throw it in a thing just so you get better stacks. You just want to get rid of it and just summon in a new one. It's just easier. It always sounds good, but wasting your Dryads or wasting your Scrapper hits on a Valkyrie just so that you can get more stacks, like a marginal amount of stacks, as opposed to just cycling, using a summoner and, merging into higher trappers, merging into higher gunslingers, merging into, just anything else, you could merge into a higher, Valkyrie, just randomly. You could merge 2 level 3 summoners and randomly just get a level 4 Valkyrie. Like, I think that is a far better usage of your time than a Dryad or a Scrapper. That's just my early thoughts on it. That increases the damage dealt by all Valkyries by 2%, and then by 0.2 after 300 runes. So 2% for 300 runes is 600% damage. That's just as flat base damage, and then you're getting 0.2% after that. Also grants new capabilities. After 20 runes, you gain an attack speed bonus. After 50 runes, you gain a damage bonus. Now, if you notice, there was a Valkyrie that I didn't talk about, and it would be this. There we go. It would be this Valkyrie right here. Why did my light go? Oh, there we go. I think I clicked the eye. There we go. I got it. Okay. This Valkyrie right here is called a Chosen One. So when you're summoning in new Valkyries, most of the time you're going to get red Valkyries, but every so often you're going to get this white Valkyrie, and that's called a Chosen One. The Chosen One is going to do a bunch of different things. When appearing, it has a 15% chance to become a Chosen One. Merging or absorbing a Chosen One summons a Valkyrie of the same rank to the battlefield and has a 10% chance to turn a random Valkyrie on the battlefield into a Chosen One. So basically what this means is when you have a Chosen One on the field, you have the ability, when it dies, to summon in a new Valkyrie. And also to summon in, or to change a Valkyrie that's currently on the field into a new Chosen One. And so that is going to help you cycle through the deck, or to cycle through. So you could theoretically have a bunch of Chosen Ones on the field. And then when you cycle your entire field with your mana power up and you gain all of those stacks, you can then free summon in new Valkyries because of your Chosen Ones. Also, if you wanted to merge them out, you could then theoretically get another Valkyrie to change into a Chosen One, and then you can cycle out that way as well. The entire idea of the deck plays very much like how a Treant used to play when it was originally introduced, when it was a witch deck, when it was a enchant sword deck. And I think that this deck, it really functions in the way that I wished a Treant would, because you have the ability to constantly cycle out. You can constantly cycle into higher versions of a gunslinger. You can constantly cycle out into higher kobolds, so that you get the kobold bonus. You can cycle out your kobolds by throwing them into the mine. You're constantly cycling out your Valkyries so that you can get stacks. I just think that if you take this deck and you just put in a summoner with like enhanced summoning, you're also gaining the summoner bonuses that you, the percentage bonuses that you're getting from the 13 ability. I think that it would work really well as just a sacrificial summon deck, where you're just constantly merging and cycling things out. We can talk about talents here. The first talent is going to be maybe. Oh, there we go. I didn't cycle. I was like, that's not the first talent. Okay. The first talent is going to be Power of the Leaders. Godlike Mike said that this might be the better talent, and I do think that this probably is. If you're a big left to right person, I could start with the left one. Fury of the Fallen. When a Chosen One is lost, all Valkyries on the field have their attack speed increased by 30% for 35 seconds. After 100 runes, the attack speed bonus increases to 50%. The attack speed bonus increases to 50% and the damage increases by 40%. This requires you to have a Chosen One on the field, and then it also requires you to get rid of the Chosen One when you want to activate this ability. 35 seconds is a very long period of time. and it sounds like it could be good, but it also sounds very singular, and it requires an activation. And I never like abilities where it requires you to do something, where it requires you to like have specific amounts of timing in order to achieve something. The other ability is 3 Valkyries on the field become leaders, and then the mana power-up ranks up the leader of the lowest merge rank, while all other Valkyries will be destroyed, granting runes. A chosen one grants 2 times the amounts of runes, and losing it summons an extra Valkyrie of merge rank 1. Runes are granted only if the mana power-up button is tapped. Leaders have the damage increased by 240%, and they are the only ones to be affected with the runes. The cooldown time is reduced by 50%. This just seems like the better version of a deck. It does so many things. Your 3 Valkyries become leaders. The mana power-up ranks up the leader of the lowest merge rank, so you have a self-level up mechanic. And then you sacrifice all of your other Valkyries to get runes. You're getting 2 times the amount of runes every time you sacrifice, every time you use your mana power-up. Just everything that it does just seems better. Oh, there we go. This is the cleanse talent. Losing a Valkyrie has a 40% chance to cleanse a random Valkyrie of a negative effect. The chance is 100% when losing a chosen one. This sounds like it would be good, but I think that if you have 3 Valkyries on your field, you can eventually cleanse one of them. I mean, I think at worst you would get double Dark Priested, but you should always have a full field to where that like worst case scenario situation wouldn't happen. You could run Mermaid if you really wanted to, and that would further protect you. I don't know how new Counterspell is going to work. I believe it's a perk, or it could be an artifact. I don't know how effective that's going to be, how often you're going to be getting counterspells. But I think that the opposite one is the better one, the Generosity of the Norns. When gaining runes, a Valkyrie has a 20% chance to receive 1 extra rune per merge rank. I think that that's better. It seems like it should be a little bit more than 1 extra rune per merge rank. That means at best you're probably going to get 3 or 4 extra runes. And in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't sound that much. But I do think that it might be better than Purifying Light. But again, that would determine, or that would be based on 2 factors of whether or not you were running Mermaid, and whether or not you're gonna run, how good the new version of Counterspell is gonna be. You might just want to run Purifying Light for the 100% chance of sacrificing, like keeping a chosen one on the field for that 100% sacrifice. For that 100% cleanse. A 100% cleanse basically gives you the consistency of a Twilight Ranger deck, and maybe that's just better. Just always constantly being able to cleanse it whenever you want to. Piercing Spear is Valkyries of merge rank 5 or more have a 20% chance to perform an extra shot when attacking, dealing 210% damage against the first monster. That is a 5-star. When a Valkyrie is a 5-star, you always have this ability. A 20% chance to do 210% damage is insanity. Like I said, I don't like activations, and so this is not an activation, it's just a passive ability. I do believe that the other one is just strictly worse. Unity of the Host is if there are at least 5 Valkyries on the field, the damage that they deal increase by 6% per merge rank. Having the 3 Valkyries that you're always going to have on the field, your leader Valkyries, you only need to have 2 more Valkyries, and then you're getting, at at most, what is it? 6 times 7 is 42. You're getting at most 42% merge rank damage, or 42% damage, which doesn't feel better than 210% a 20% chance to do 210% damage. You should be attacking incredibly fast, and just having a flat 200 or 20% chance to do 210% damage, just as a flat passive rate, as opposed to having to have 2 extra Valkyries on the field. You should probably have 2 extra Valkyries on the field, but I don't think that the 42% damage, even at a level 7 Valkyrie, is going to be all that much of a difference. And I'd rather have the 20% chance to do 210% damage. That's crazy damage. And then Ragnarok, when a chosen one is lost, all Valkyries of the maximum merge rank call down a heavenly strike against the first monster, dealing 30% of the Valkyrie's guaranteed critical damage in the area. The damage depends on the unit's merge rank. After 150 runes, all Valkyries have the chance of dealing critical damage increased by 3%. This is insane. Being able to sacrifice a chosen one in order to do mass damage to an area is crazy. So it works during a wave. It works during a phantom. Being able to just like casually sacrifice a chosen one is crazy. And then, like I said, when you sacrifice a chosen one, you will automatically summon in a new Valkyrie, and then you could theoretically also that can also transfer to give you a new chosen one, so you can just keep cycling through this. There are obviously reincarnation abilities, but reincarnation abilities are so far off that it almost doesn't matter. These are the reincarnation abilities. Revival is crazy. When a chosen one is lost, a random Valkyrie of the minimum merge rank, including the one summoned as a result of the chosen one, has a 25% chance at max to have the merge rank increased. And then Shattering of Will, there always has to be a defense reduction reincarnation ability, and that's this one. The Heavenly Strike reduces the monster's armor by 20% for 5 seconds and stuns monsters for 2 seconds. So if you are using it during a wave, not only are you getting defense reduction, but you're getting a stun on the wave, and then you're also just dealing massive amounts of damage. Actually, you know, I might as well just read the first one because it's the only one that I skipped. When a boss or mini-boss appears, this causes a Heavenly Strike. Whenever a Heavenly Strike is called down, it also has a 20% chance to be invoked again. This, as a reincarnation 1... There was a guy that was complaining about the reincarnation 1 of Monk, and it's like a 4% something. It's super stupid. And I will not disagree that it's stupid as a first reincarnation 1 ability, but Monk is Monk. And, you know, like somebody, and like my argument is that, okay, it is bad. Yeah, if you compare it to other units, but if you compare Monk to other units, Monk in and of itself is bad. You can either choose to not reincarnate 3 your monk, and you can choose to not get that bad ability. But if you go up against somebody who has that bad ability maxed out, he's gonna beat you. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's bad. Like, you do it because you're a monk user, and that's why you do it, because it makes it better. It doesn't matter that if you compare it to a bard, it's not a one-man army ability. It's not a chastising gaze ability. But if you're running monk, it's going to make your monk better. So anyway, this is a crazy ability as a first ability. Having the fact that you get Heavenly Gaze whenever a boss or mini boss, as in during waves, and during the boss, you're just activating Heavenly Gaze anyway, that's an insane ability. That means that you can save your chosen ones and then use the 100% cleanse for when you get King Pudding during the boss round, or when you get Dark Priested during the boss round, and you don't have to use it to do damage. You can just use it when you actually have to. That fundamentally changes how you play, how you will play Valkyrie. And so that's a crazy first ability as a first ability. I'm glad that I didn't like skip over that. But yeah, that's basically Valkyrie. I really like it. And if you haven't spent money, like if you've been saving money by not upgrading a Phoenix and a Cobalt, a Phoenix and a Frankenstein and a Twilight Ranger and a Twins, I think that this is a really, I think this is a really unique unit. Like the things that it does, I think it's really unique, and you know it's going to be better than every unit, at least for a time, with the bonus that you're getting because of Pantheon and the novelty bonus that they've added. It's going to be good because it's going to be good. And if this is your kind of playstyle, if this sounds like something that would be a playstyle that you like, if you don't always want to use Scrapper and you don't always want to use Dryad and you want to try a merge rank playstyle, I think that just out of the box, I think that this unit is really good. The fact that you have the level up mechanic on your level 9, I think that that's really, really strong. Using the mana power up button ranks up a random Valkyrie that has a rank lower than maximum. And then, yeah, your first ability of mana power up ranks up the leader of the lowest merge rank, while all other Valkyries will be destroyed. I think that it's so strong. Like once you get it to level 9, and you have that power of the leaders, I think this is a very strong deck. And then that's disregarding every other ability and all of the other power that comes with just leveling up a unit. I think it's very good. I'm not going to say, it's going to cost a large quantity of money if you decide to, spend a lot of it when the event drops, or if you decide to just farm it slowly through Mirror Match and Masters Tournament. But I do think that it's going to be very strong, and I do think I'm probably going to get it, or I'm going to hard focus it. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I'll catch you guys next video. Oh, that's not it. That's my, that's not it. That's not it either. It's this one.